And we are live Sunday night with those guys. And Sunday night with those guys is sponsored by those
Those guys.
guys.
What's up, Herman? How are you, sir? Happy birthday,
Uh,
brother. Belated happy birthday, because yesterday was your birthday, so you know you're going to hear it a lot more tonight, right?
well, it's my birthday all weekend.
It's my birthday weekend. It's my birthday
Yeah.
weekend.
It's not often your birthday falls on a Saturday or a Friday that you can
I know,
celebrate the whole weekend.
I
So,
know, right? I know for real. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Sunday Nights with those guys. Right
that's right.
now, concurrent viewers. I'm clicking on that chat rate playback. Concurrent viewers is more my concern right there because I
Mhm.
can see when the numbers going up. People will start jumping in. I have to get this thing down one more time, and I think I'll have it for sure.
Well,
It's
see,
just when you only do it once a week, you tend to not want to remember it so much. But it's a better way of signing in. I'll agree.
what I don't understand though is why is it that I don't have to keep putting the stream key and all of that in every time I
Because each time you end a show, that
hmm
stream key times out. So they have to give you another one for security purposes. Back in the day, you could use the same stream key over and over and over and over. Now it times out. That's pretty much what it
no,
is.
what I'm trying to say to you is that since we've been doing it this way, it hasn't affected me yet.
What do you mean? I'm lost.
Every time I
Hey,
start,
Santiago, happy birthday, Herman. Let's get this
hey,
party started. You going to do a drop in a shot with us, Jay Santiago?
thank
Huh?
you.
You're going to do a drop in a shot with us, sir? We would appreciate it. I have some rum, some mango flavored rum.
Here we
Herman is drinking on the yak,
here
right?
we
Woohoo,
here we
happy
go.
birthday.
Trouble.
We not going to be partying. You notice there's nothing here in front of me to drink because it's still freaking early. Then by the end of the live stream, I'll be la 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 like that. And I don't want to be like that within the first hour of the live stream.
But what were you saying before?
Just the signing in. It'll take me one more
Oh yeah,
time to
yeah.
get used to. Definitely.
What I was saying to you on that was once I did it the first time, it's never asked me to put the stream key in again, nor the shareable link.
That's strange because it asks me to put the URL, it's the stream URL, the
hmm
stream key, and then that link that you told me to copy
hmm
from the three dots. But maybe this is my second time doing it. Hey, Albuquerque quadcopter, how are you, sir?
Hey, Tony, what's good, man?
What's going on, man? How are you? So later on at some time in point, guys, we have 12 concurrent viewers. You guys click that like button, please. I'd appreciate it ever so much. Um, you know what? I like looking at it better, even though it opens up the window with the chat, Herman. I
hmm
like looking at it better with the analytics
Okay.
here, with the analytics, because this is what this is exactly what what's his name shows. Minus, I think he shrinks the box down to cover just this chart right here. But I like that because I can tell in real time who's in the chat, right?
Hey, drone worship, what's
Who's
good, man?
outside. Drone worship, what's good, man? How are you, sir?
Hey,
I
Tom.
hope those stitches are healing. Tom, you got the invite from Herman already, right? Yes. Anyway, it was Herman's birthday yesterday. I'm not even gonna don't even bother asking how old he is or whatever, because I don't even know. That's an important. The important part is he made another day. Drone worship, I hope you're healing up pretty good, man, and not laughing too hard because laughing doesn't help stitches heal. Just FYI. Very weak and I don't have a lot of energy. My voice is gone and most of the time, but I'm sure I'll survive. Dude, you're surviving the corona era now. This is small stuff. But get well soon, in Godspeed, of course. Now,
Yeah,
classic.
take care of
What's
yourself, man.
up? He did not get it, so Tom, I'm gonna try and send
Did
it
it?
to you. I'm gonna try and send it to you right now. I
Hey,
copied it here. Let me just go to G. Oh no, Facebook Messenger. You should get this, Tom. Pretty.
you copied it?
It's Herman's birthday weekend, you know.
You copied it again?
Yeah,
You sure?
yeah, I did. There
I
you
don't know
go.
how Tom didn't get it
I just
because
sent it. I just sent it to him. But anyway, we have a handful of topics, you know, to talk about. And hey, Sean Geeks Vanna, you know you got an invite sitting there. Robert, you got to come in later on and do a drop and a shot with us, man. Interesting, not having a spleen to help you fight infections and create blood cells. I have an interesting future ahead of me, let's say. Well, look at it this way. You don't have a spleen, but you still have the other parts that work. That's all that matters.
really.
You do this with your finger. Can you still put the middle finger up? Yes, then everything still works.
Uh-uh.
That's all. That's all. So, Robert, at some time and point, I will actually go back to Gmail and send you an invite. So if you want to come in later on or at any time at your discretion to pop in, we're not doing shots until like maybe the second half of the live stream because I'm not trying to have my voice slurring by the time an hour and a half is up. My resistance has been kind of low lately.
What's going on there, Sean?
Or, oh,
Whose voice?
Robert,
Your
there we
voice?
go.
Hey, Robert.
That's who I was talking to. I was like, yo, I know he'll come in and have a shot and a drop with us. I know that for a fact. AZ Drone Dude, hello. How are you, man? AZ Drone Dude.
Well, I'll still be here sipping on the iced tea.
Is it really iced tea?
Iced tea.
Oh.
Ice.
Okay. Hey,
Ice,
Drone Worship.
iced tea all weekend.
Come on, those guys, man. But we gotta have a serious night though. We can't have a night of bashing and stuff like that. It's got to be a real intelligent night. So we got to plan that in the future. I have you on Facebook. You get healed up some, and we'll bring you on Sunday nights with those guys or Wednesday nights with those guys when we work out the issues. Yes, Phantom Flight 101's birthday yesterday. He's an old fucker now.
No, he's not.
He's not. No, he's not. He's not old. And I know what old is. I work for some old people.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we're not going to go there.
When you say old,
I'm not going to say anything else. I'm not. I promise.
you
I'm
know
not.
what? I actually did a job for an elderly couple, and it was something that I had to get it done
Yeah.
because they have a nurse there that takes care of them all day,
Mm-hmm.
and the switch for their air conditioner in their house broke, and it was hot. It was hot that summer, and they really can't do it, and they're just in their chair, and she takes care of them all day.
Here comes Tom.
I had to get that air on for
Okay.
him. Hey, Tom.
He can't hear you yet. There he is. Now he can hear you. What's up, Tom?
Hello, gentlemen. Can you hear
Jackson
me okay?
RC, how are you,
Hey,
sir?
what's up, man? Jackson.
What's up, Jackson RC? How are you, sir? And Mr. Tom,
Lawrence, how are you? Happy birthday, Herman.
Thank you. Thank you.
how was your
Many more to
weekend,
come.
Tom?
Oh, almost over, right?
Um,
Losing track.
It's over for me.
uh,
I by
Yeah.
the time I go flying on Sunday morning, come back and eat lunch, it's time to start getting ready to do the live stream. And usually I get to take a nap, but Today there was no nap because as soon as I came back from flying, the wife was like, "Come on, let's go food shopping." So when I do go to sleep tonight, I'm probably going to sleep pretty good.
Well,
I did have enough time to make a big piece of salmon for lunch, but that was about it. Okay, well we'll speak about it. Get your strength back up, man. So we don't want you laughing and popping a stitch on our live stream. That's suable content.
I've been on vacation mode.
Yeah, Herman's been on the love boat for the last 3 days.
Good for you.
But it's his birthday, so
Absolutely. Well
you
deserved.
know, enjoy it. Now, you know what's funny, guys? Hey, JSK Enterprises, how are you? What's
How are you,
fun is
JSK?
when it's our birthday, the man's birthday, and it's Father's Day. The day is over at 5 or 6 p.m. No matter which day it is, whether it's Father's Day or your birthday, it's over at freaking 6
You don't
p.m.
get the full 24.
Yeah. So even a day before your birthday, you start talking and you start it's the day before my birthday. Now my wife, it's the week before her birthday. She starts
Set
the
it
whole
up.
week.
She sets it up.
Yeah. They say she starts a whole week before her birthday, and then it's the weekend of my birthday. Then it's my birthday, and then it's the day after my birthday. And I'm like, all right, now you're running it in the hole. Now you're
I look at it
seriously
this way:
running it.
whatever makes them happy, Lawrence.
Okay, Tom.
It works for me.
Okay, I tried that. I try that philosophy too. It works most of the time. Does work most of the time. You guys click that like button. Anyway, not until after the first hour are we going to do a drop and a shot for Herman's birthday. I was
Okay.
mentioning, Tom,
Shot.
I'm not trying to have my voice slurring by the time the show is halfway through because I haven't had any rum, Puerto Rican rum in a while. So I have some mango flavored rum. I usually drink gin, but I figured they didn't have any. I would change it up. And usually when you switch from one alcohol to another after drinking one on a regular, one or the other usually has more kick. But anyway, there is a little bit of drone news. It's still early. It's only 6 minutes into the lot. Well, average watch time is 6 minutes and 31 seconds. Okay. I'm
Okay.
looking at logistics here. We're actually
13
5:13,
minutes.
13 minutes into the live stream. So it's saying on the average that people pop in and out and stay for an average of 6 minutes and 52 seconds, which is okay. I don't mind because each time someone pops in, that's a plus for us. But anyway, how are you guys? Did anyone get a chance to fly? How was your weekend? Tom, how was your weekend? Well, I know how Herman's weekend is. How was your weekend, you guys in the chat?
We did some driving around this weekend. We took a drive upstate, nice leisurely drive. Went up into the Catskills just to decompress, I guess. You know.
Did you see what drone worship put? He's glad we're keeping you on board, Tom. You're a
Yeah.
proliferer of information, sir.
Appreciate that drone
If
worship.
if
Appreciate that.
drone worship, if you lived here in New York and you've come to a meetup where Tom is there, you usually have a group of guys flying, and then there's usually a group of guys encircling Tom. Right? Right?
Pumping me for information.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and
I'm the
then Tom,
watering hole.
right. And if
Yeah.
Tom believes like and I have a saying, each one teach one, he believes the
Yes.
same thing as well.
Yeah. And I also believe everybody's entitled to their opinion, and it doesn't have to be yours to be heard. Right.
Right. In which case
So
where I
that's
might
the other
say,
that's the other good thing I say happens at the meets too is we have general discourse on issues as well. But what's
yeah,
nice about it
yes,
is
we do.
we handle it like adults. Okay.
This is true. This is true. There are only certain people in the drone community that when I talk to them, I get the urge to want to punch them, but I've gotten over it. I digress. I've long passed that phase now. I'd rather walk away than if you're getting me to the point where I just want to punch you, then it's time to walk away.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Probably
but
probably a little too late at
but
that point.
there are a few, Tom. There are a few.
In all walks of life,
You
no
know
matter what the event,
how the father grabs Bart Simpson and he chokes him out. There's just one or
there's a
two
few
that
of
just
those.
need to be shook like that. Not
But
too
then
rough.
again, in your daily encounters in general society, that you find you run across those people all the time. So you know,
Yeah, it's just
we're just a cross
Definitely.
section of the population. That's all we are.
Most definitely.
So did you see this week? We almost had a Medivac helicopter drone incident.
I had heard something to it. I couldn't fact check a whole bunch of it because
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of passing videos up on Facebook, but I haven't been able to look behind it
yeah,
yet.
yeah. If I had found if I had saw some more stuff on it, I was actually thinking about bringing that up. That
Where was
incident
this?
up. If you can explain what happened for the people in the chat that don't know what's going on.
So from the brief video that I saw, it was basically a medevac helicopter,
Hmm.
an air ambulance basically, that was landing on an elevated heliport on top of a hospital roof, and they spotted a drone flying in very close proximity to the point that when they landed, one of the crew members got out, and the drone continued to fly so close that he snatched it out of the air. It turned out apparently to be a Mavic Mini, and it was unregistered. But the FAA, from the video, it stated the FAA and the hospital and I guess the local law enforcement were looking into it at this
Good
time.
afternoon, Daryl Hickman.
All right. So I guess this isn't here in New York City, though.
No, this was not in New York
No,
City,
we don't
but
have.
I think it was in the tri-state area someplace.
Yeah, somewhere and they haven't.
Might have been Connecticut.
I was waiting for some local news station to pick it up, but
Yeah, because I was
it's
afraid we don't have it.
I haven't seen any footage pertaining to it. I saw it, like you said, what I did see was on Facebook.
Yeah. What I saw was on Facebook. In fact, it was a clip from a local news station. But apparently they're not a well-liked news station because it doesn't seem like they got a lot of traffic on this video they put up.
Yeah, well, it's just that you have to be aware, especially we know this here living in New York, that some people create their own news stories for for
It happens. It happens.
well, yeah, it's sad but true. But you get an E for effort. If you're creating your own news stories, I would like to stay out of the news in that sense.
All right.
You
Well,
know,
yeah, it's
The
the
bit.
difference
but
between being
hold on,
yeah.
Tom. The views and opinions that are heard tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everyone on the
Good
panel
idea.
and or in the chat. Okay, I got it out the way. Happy
Okay.
birthday, Herman, from
Thank you,
Daryl
Jack.
Hickman.
So
Thank you.
I guess you could say it's a difference between
Open
being
the bit.
famous and being infamous.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So
I get
that's the way I would look at it.
it. Look at me, I'm famous. Take away the IN.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's that
15 minutes. 15 minutes is fleeting. Very fleeting.
that's true. They say 15 minutes of fame, right?
Yeah.
Look, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. I don't care. Well, Jackson RC says that they got to fly a bunch of planes today. If you check out his channel, they fly the big boys.
Yeah, they fly all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. See, that would be easy to follow with an FPV bird because it's so big. When you're following another smaller drone, it blends into to the background or it's kind of hard to chase a drone, but planes I need to try. I seem to know a number of those people for some reason. That's because you're a magnet. You're a magnet, drone worship.
Now,
You
which
know that.
people is this that we're
The
talking about?
drone worship is a love
Who,
magnet.
who are we talking about, Herman? We're not talking about anybody specifically. We never do that.
No, no.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Who are the people
We,
we're talking about?
we're generalizing.
Yes, yes, just
It's safer
generalizing.
that way.
It is, it is. Anyway, let me cue up these stories in that I have bookmarked. As we could carry this topic on for a little bit because I titled the live stream Dear FAA. And hold on, I need to open another window.
Mm-mm.
Herman brought this to my attention, so I figured Herman would want to talk about it. But since it's his birthday, I don't know what he's doing today.
Do, 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 do.
I mean, you did bring the story up to me.
Go ahead.
Okay,
Bring it
well,
to him. Give it to him. Let him
okay, well,
tell the
the
people.
it, many
Because I
people are
thought it,
always, huh?
not to cut you off, because I thought it was
You got
hilarious
three.
when I found out about it. And I'm like, now?
The AMA wants to do something about it.
Well, no, not only, no, but no, it's not just the AMA, but go ahead. Some of the people that are involved with the whole.
Right, right. Okay, what we're talking about is Herman gave me a little bit of news here that the AMA in action advocating for members pertaining to remote ID and its hobbyist. In I will forward this to you, Tom, in the chat for Zoom. Here, paste, go.
Well,
And
Lawrence,
so you can keep up with what we're talking about. But basically, the AMA has decided American Model Aeronautics Association, whatever you want, has joined with the Aircraft Owners and Pilot Association and the Experimental Aircraft Association and Google's sister company Wing, who has interest in delivery drones, to send a letter today urging the FAA to make essential changes to the proposed rule for remote ID. Basically, what they're saying is because of these particular rules, it'll be extra hard for the hobbyist to stay a hobbyist and abide by these rules with
right,
a remote ID. Right, Herman?
right. That is exactly what they're saying. They're saying that based upon this, that you jeopardize the ability for the hobbyist to remain in the hobbyist field and be able to fly other than in those fields that were available for people who cannot comply with
Have a
remote
great
ID.
night, drone worship.
What they're saying is that it is too expensive to retrofit thousands and thousands of drones that do not broadcast.
It's an undue
And
burden on the owners.
right,
Yes.
and it is ridiculous. And basically that this is what this letter is
Now I could I
concerned
could
of it.
I could go into it. It says the letter describes how if hobbyists cannot, hold on, I got to read above this. The proposed rule will make it nearly impossible for everyday hobbyists to share the skies. The letter states they will need to incorporate highly automated equipment into home built models. And we're talking FPV,
That's what
guys,
they're saying. The
and
FPV.
implement manufacturing process comparable to the commercial aircraft. These requirements are infeasible for hobbyists who experiment in the garage, buy material at the local hardware store, we're talking fixed wing also, and fly in their backyard or local park.
Right.
Now, it also, I have the actual letter that they sent to the FAA. I was gonna read that too, but the letter describes how if hobbyists cannot comply with complex requirements of amateur build requirements, they will be confined to a small number of FAA recognized identification areas, which we know as AMA fields.
Right.
Now, the AFA, now this is funny, the FAA anticipates about 2,400 of these sites spread out across the United States would fill up really quick if it's small for the amount of 327 million people that are
Right.
here in the States,
And they're not
basically.
and after the first I don't remember what date or whatever it was, but then they're not implementing any more new fields.
Yes, yes. So they're not creating any more AMA fields. And in fact, some of them are so low maintenance, like Forest Park, It's just that it's going to be hard. There are millions of drone pilots out there. There are millions of FPV pilots in the community. And I'm just talking about the United States alone, where all of this would come into effect. Could you imagine how the AMA fields would look, Tom, if everyone said, let's go there to fly?
Well, the problem is you're stuck in a bubble, right? And I don't know, when you're flying fixed wing RC, it's about the bird in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you're flying, I can speak at least for camera drone and maybe make an assumption for FPV.
Right.
You're flying for the visual.
Yes.
So you're looking for that change in scenery constantly
Right.
to keep you challenged and excited about it. So I'm sorry, flying in an AMA field and only being allowed to fly there basically takes the gas right out of the tank for me.
Well, here's the actual letter. This letter I will post in the group in the chat after I read it. But the actual letter says, this goes to the Honorable Steve Dickerson, administrator of the FAA, the big dog. Dear Mr. Administrator Dickerson, we write in response to the proposed rule on a remote identification of unmanned aircraft systems. Together, we represent a cross-section of the model aviation, general aviation, and commercial UAS sectors. We agree that safety and security are critical to the successful integration of UAS in the United States. I agree with 1000%. However, we urge the FAA to make essential changes to protect and sustain the model aviation community. Now, where were you? I'm not going to curse. You guys 2, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Okay. Now, but better late than never. It's better late than never, Tom. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Hey, the more the merrier. Jump on the bandwagon. Come take the loony ride with us.
But
okay?
I think a lot of it, Tom, would have been changed. A lot of the rules would have been changed if hey Menomina, if the AMA had a say earlier in the game. Now now they have a say in the game, and it's with Wing, which is with Google, who's doing drone delivery. So it makes me wonder, AMA, drone delivery company, and now you want to change the game a little for a hobbyist. I just see a double oxymoron here. It's
well,
help us, help us.
The bigger
but
problem,
help us.
the bigger problem that I see is, there's some conflicting interest here. Okay.
Right. Right.
Are you fighting for the hobbyist, which is actually your core mission, or are we saying that you're fighting for your existence and just trying to scratch out a niche right now?
Right.
Just be honest with us and tell us what the deal is here.
Right. Well, go ahead, Tom.
It's just a matter of what's the real interest at stake here for the AMA? Is it really the anything but the fixed wing, which unfortunately for me has always been my take on the AMA, and I've been a proud member for God knows how long. But the second you introduced the drone into the community, we were like outcasts. Now all of a sudden it's a matter of, hey, your real true numbers of growth are coming from the multi-rotor community.
Right. Now,
okay?
This is the last.
Don't treat us like second-class citizens, because by doing so, it led right into what you said, Lawrence. It led right into a level of complacency with the FAA going, they're only going after those people with drones. And in fact, no, guys, we're all in the same game together.
Drones, RC planes, if it takes off the ground,
remote control is remote control.
By rubber band battery, catapult, or whatever, it'll be considered hobbyist or rogue if you don't comply. But this bottom half of the letter, the last paragraph of the letter, it says, we urge the FAA to consider alternative approaches that promote safety and security while supporting model aviation. For example, hobbyists could not could notify their planned flight area to the FAA and the other observers on the ground via smartphone app. Today, drone operators can fly in a controlled airspace around our busiest airports by notifying their planned flight area to the FAA through apps, which is what we do.
Well,
Which is Air Map,
Lank works for recreational flyers.
right?
Right.
The FAA should be applauded for digitizing these capabilities in an accessible way. That approach is safe, smart, and sensible. We could apply to remote identification. We could apply to remote identification. Likewise, organizations such as clubs, schools should be predetermined to renew and establish new identification areas over time, pre-vetted by the FAA. Now, I'm going to post it in the chat. I didn't read the entire letter because you can, it's a single page thing, but that's what the actual letter is to, this is the actual letter that went to the FAA. And the fact that the AMA, and here's the article now that you guys have, so you can read it more in detail. It just pretty much says what the letter says. I can copy that and put that in the chat as well. And then you can check the stuff out and read it for yourself later on.
As far as the AMA is concerned, I don't think
All right, it's telling me that link is too long.
that they're saying is not what has been being said all along. The AMA has said this before. We have all said this before.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that's been being said all along. You know, I'm not looking at the AMA right now with this because it's something that the AMA has to do. It's something that they should have done. It's something, like I said, they have to do it.
Should have done.
Yeah. And they're gonna have to keep doing it. What I'm interested is now is the fact that Alphabet Wing is involved in it. And when you now have someone, because like I said to you before, they have the drone advisory committee, but that's really something that's toothless.
Mm-hmm.
And them themselves and don't even know what's going to happen with this. And right now, as far as the FAA is concerned, the FAA is just putting the finishing touches on what they're ready to roll out. It's already a package deal already.
Yeah. Well,
they're just wiping down the stuff and waiting for opening day. And this letter comes out now, and you have a guy now on the inside that's involved in the whole grand scheme of things.
mm-hmm.
That's a part of this letter. I'm like, where are we going with this? This is something that should have been said all along. I've sat here, I said this all along.
Mm-hmm.
And all you needed was something, a better system of doing this. And everybody wanted to make it an issue.
Well, it's already been proven
that
Lance, it's already been proven that Lance, Lank, whatever you want to call it, works.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So to add an identification factor to these apps already isn't hard when DJI Bird's already broadcasting.
Well, see, that works fine for those type of drones. But we're mostly looking at is
we're looking at fixed wing. We're looking at fixed wing and FPV.
Right, those type of things.
I find it very hard to fathom the ability to retrofit the community that's out there right now.
Exactly.
Sorry, just I don't see it. And when you say, well, okay, that fleet will age out in a couple of years. No, there's people flying RC aircraft that are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old.
Right.
Okay. So those are not aging out. Okay. They're well maintained and manicured and cared for. So, I don't see that community really retrofitting their aircraft with remote ID. Now, a lot of those that are flying the fixed wing, again, remember, they're flying for the thrill in the air to see it up above them as they manipulate the controls, okay, on the controller.
Right.
They're flying at AMA fields for the most part right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much.
It's the multi-rotor community that is off reservation, so to speak. Okay.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the way some of these AMA fields are managed. Now, I can't say all of them are managed that way, but some are managed like it's a private club. You need to know a password to get into. and even an invite to sometimes.
Well,
So, that troubles me. I know the Vegas Club is wonderful, open arms. Hey, anybody, come on out. And they
Right.
advocate you to join AMA. They don't
Right.
stop you from being a guest and coming to join them. But I've also been at other places where the fees are ridiculous. It's like, man, I should be getting a tea time reservation along with a club membership,
well, you know
Tea
what I said?
time. I'm expecting a valet to carry my shit to the airfield. The way some of them act. Because
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, Gerritsen, I like the Gerritsen Field area. Herman's a member of the Gerritsen Field AMA over there.
Yeah, Marine Park.
And
Yeah.
right. And I love that area. But only certain times Herman and I have been able to go over there and fly without one of the members saying or like one guy almost broke his
That,
leg trying to get across the field to us. There's
that,
no flying due to COVID.
dude, yeah.
You
We
remember
can't,
that, dude?
he said we can't have any meetups because of the coronavirus. I said,
Oh, two of yous were in meetup.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. The
yeah.
two of we could not have, and his words were, we could not have a meetup there due to COVID. And he was in the field. He was basically there. His son was training a dog, but he made it seem like he was basically there to make sure nobody flew. So if Herman had came in by himself and started flying, and I came in 10 minutes later, would that be considered a meetup?
Wait a second. Wait. You didn't tell him you lived in the same household together? Come on now.
I didn't think about that one, Tom.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that one together, but Tom, the field was empty.
Honestly, the price for joining some of these clubs
Are ridiculous.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's part of it. And what are you really getting?
You ever
You're
checked out
getting,
the price over at,
unfortunately, the price, I think it's $1.25 now over there. But I also think for the $1.25 you pay to join, it gives you the right to be treated like a second-class citizen. Okay? Because if you're not flying fixed wing, you are a second-class citizen.
We're at over at Calvert.
At Marine Park.
Oh yeah, well at times, yeah.
Yeah.
At times.
Depends who's there. It's like, plenty of people are heads down and just want to fly and enjoy themselves. But then you got another crew that,
then
but you have that at all these places,
you
unfortunately.
do have
the
that,
majority of them.
and to be honest, the FPV community in certain parks isn't too friendly either, because when Herman and I went to Flushing, when you go to a park, like I'm just new to their park. They had never seen me before. So you go
Right.
to a park and you introduce yourself to the people, to the guy this was one guy flying FPV. So this way I don't plug in my bird on the same channel and he loses bird or crash or whatever.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's a hospitality thing. So I went over, I left Herman at the other end of the park and I went all the way across the field. Hi, my name is so-and-so. I'm new to this. This is the channel that I'm flying. He said, cool, not a problem, because the guy who flies on that channel isn't here yet. So I'm like, great. He says, I fly on this channel, you're flying on that channel. Everything's fine. I think this guy purposely switched his channel to mess up my flying.
I can't say it hasn't happened, and I've seen some nonsense at Flushing in that area.
Yeah.
I always
Interference part.
approached it as, if they got confrontational, okay, I right away was like, I don't understand what seems to be the problem. Oh, okay. Well, why don't you just tell me?
Well, see, the thing was I was flying, right? I burned one battery. I was okay. I was fine, because what we were doing was, while he flew,
I've done that plenty of times.
I stayed on the ground.
You stay grounded.
I stay grounded.
Yeah.
So there's no interference radio or nothing. And then when he finished, he waved over, which he agreed to do. He waved over, and I burnt a battery, and I was able to fly and do a few things and then come back. But on the second battery, it was like he was splashing. He moved his channel closer to mine, but not exactly on mine. So I'm getting leakage. So if you're on channel 6 and he's on 5 or 7, I get splash over.
Right.
And that's exactly what was happening. So eventually we wind up, Herman had to shoot an intro and stuff for his video there. And I wind up going to another part of the park to try and fly because I just didn't want to deal
Yeah.
with it. This
Yeah,
dude
you didn't
flew
want to
all the
deal
way
with it.
around the
Yeah.
circle, the AMA
Yeah.
circle, all the way
Yeah.
around us. He wiped out. Now, here's another thing. A rule is if you wipe out while flying, while you're walking to get your bird, you
Yeah.
disconnect so
Right.
someone can fly until you get over to your
Oh
bird.
no, so he kept on transmitting.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
kept on
well, that's,
transmitting. So, and then he damaged his drone because he didn't fly it anymore and walked all the way back over. So I said, you know what? Rather than deal with all of this, Centroid, long time no see, dude. How are you? So rather than deal with all of that back and forth baloney, I just said, yo, Herman, let's do what we got to do and get the hell out of here.
yeah, I know that's the problem, but that's a lack of courtesy, and that occurs across all segments of the population, right? I mean, it's sad, but I've experienced it at Flushing a few times. And then you get the brand new drone pilots, who just bought the Mavic in Best Buy show up. They don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of barking at them, engage them.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So they become part of the community instead of, but there's plenty of, and then you have the exact opposite end of that spectrum where you got those people that are very friendly on
Yes,
both sides of the fence. And,
There's an older Indian guy that hangs out there, the dude with the giant helicopters,
oh
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
six
yeah.
foot
He'll talk your
copters.
ear off.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
will talk you
I
to
thought
death
I had
about.
the gift of gab. I don't even come close to him.
Dude, Tom, the first time I met
Okay.
him, he took me on a trip. I thought I was back in college studying calculus. Because he started
He's
talking about voltage and amps and
yeah,
ohms
yeah,
and
yeah.
you got to have a battery
And
charger
he
that
also
pushes power
talks.
on this frequency. And
Yeah.
yeah,
He also talks at 70 miles an hour also.
this is true
Okay.
with an accent.
Yeah, he's the
Yes.
good dude.
Yeah.
With a slight accent.
Yeah. But he's a nice guy. He's a real nice guy.
Mark, how you doing, man? Good to see you. I hope
First
all is
guy
well
over there.
on your side of New York, upstate there. I know it's been getting cold up there in the morning. I got up at 4 this morning, and up there by Poughkeepsie and Syracuse, it was like in the 30s and 40s up there
Yeah, some
in the
frost. It got
mountaintops.
frosty.
Just a little bit nippy out there, just
Yeah.
a wee bit.
Just a little bit.
But this part of the story, this was no major story, but the fact that the AMA, AOPA, and EAA and Wing are trying to have some say in this. You know what it comes down to, Tom? I think if they don't open their mouths now, a lot of people will lose jobs and a lot of businesses. I mean, there's a lot of drones
Look,
sold here.
right now you're scratching out existence. That's what you're basically doing with that
Yeah.
that memo. That's scratching out existence. That's basically, look, like I said last week, it really comes down to the fact that they're going to carve out regions of the airspace above 400 feet. Okay, because flying at 400 feet isn't economical for the big ones. Okay, for the big players in the game, they need a little higher altitude so that they don't have as much interference. They have better broadcast, better signal penetration at a higher altitude. Okay, so I really do see probably the 400-foot level remaining for hobbyists and UAS. Small commercial UAS. And I think there'll be an airspace above that. That's a special designated space for BVLOS big carriers, right? I mean, look, you still got the situation where Amazon can't deliver anything over 6 pounds yet, okay, using their airframe. So, but there's still a lot to be done here. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to eke out that, that segment of space. It's happened in a lot of industries. Just look at the radio frequency, okay, with the FCC. I mean, there's the T-band spectrum that they're auctioning off, which was used to, it's currently in use by public safety.
Yeah.
Okay. So they want to re-commercialize that and re-profitize that. So they're selling that off and they're moving us into another spectrum. Like there's no cost to do that with all your radio. communication gear. But this is what happens in these industries. Everybody's looking to carve out those spaces, and that's how I mean, if these things don't happen, then they lose investment dollars. They lose venture capitalist dollars. I mean, there's a lot at stake here.
Right.
And I think what the AMA is doing is they're just riding on the coattails and just trying to survive with whatever crumbs
I don't
fall off.
know. I don't.
You're exactly right, Tom.
Yeah.
Hold on.
They got to
Okay.
survive how they can, but I just
It's going to be on crumbs.
that letter is a little bit too late, and I'm not so much blaming them. I'm like, it's like finally, like somebody's like listening to something.
Well, Herman, if you look, basically what they're doing is exactly what DJI was doing. If you can't connect to the internet, you're stuck flying within this bubble.
Right.
Okay. And now if you're a hobbyist, you're stuck flying in these couple of 100,000 bubbles. Okay.
Mhm.
But a couple of 100,000 in a country this size is nothing.
Right.
True.
So,
Right. Yeah.
And again, a segment of our community doesn't want to fly there. I mean, we're all of the same fabric basically on the FPV and the camera drone side.
Right.
You're looking for the next thrill through unfamiliar, uncharted territory.
You're absolutely right, Tom. And Lawrence, what did I tell you when I said to you, if a hobbyist is confined to that AMA field forever,
Mm-hmm.
then there's absolutely no reason for him to buy the newest drone out there.
Right. Right.
Well,
You
Nah,
don't
it's
need
the
it.
same thing over and over again. Yeah.
Right, because what do you need a $2,000 drone to take the same picture, the same part every weekend?
Well,
Yeah.
look at it this way. What do we have here in New York City? Okay, we have this situation where we have what would be considered by the rest of the world as the highest population of rogue drone pilots on the planet, right?
I know.
Because
According
we
to
fly
them,
everywhere you're not supposed to fly and blah, 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 blah,
Mm-hmm.
right? Look, I'll be honest with everybody here, and these are my own views. It's goddamn Groundhog Day. If you have to fly Calvert, okay, and Flushing over and over and over again, okay, with Marine, that's freaking Groundhog Day to me. Slip my wrist now, buddy.
It is.
Okay?
It really is.
Yep.
It
So
really is. And see, like today,
I want to explore. I want to see. I mean, I'm a photographer. I'm not photographing the same flower over and over again.
Well, see,
because it's the same flower over and over again.
My favorite time of the year is Labor Day. You know why? Because Labor Day officially ends the beach season.
Right.
Now, I have 8 miles of beach out here to fly along, okay, with the 400-foot ceiling along the entire peninsula. Now, during the summer season, as a respectful pilot, you have to respect the fact that it's summer season. People come on the beach. They don't want stuff buzzing and flying over. And plus, you're not supposed to fly over people anyway.
Right.
But
Exactly.
since Labor Day, the people have slowed down going to the beach. And you have a run of the sand. You can cruise along the water. You can cruise along a jetty and go out and do a loop or whatever. You can take your camera drone and shoot the waves going slowly, strafing from left to right or whatever. Whereas you can't do these things from Memorial Day through Labor Day.
Right.
So to me, this is the best time of the year. We went up to the beach today, and literally the only ones that were up there were fishermen because they're catching fish the length of my arm out there right now, coming in and out of the inlets. And plus the fish are getting ready to migrate back down to warmer waters as the temperatures get cooler also. So there are all these factors, but they're crazy fishing out there right now. And you have your local walkers that walk along the shore, and then you have your joggers on the boardwalk. So now, because of the wildlife preserve, they've actually roped off areas on the beach for nesting for migratory birds. So there's entire sections of beach out here now that there are just no people on anymore.
Yeah, and it now provides a playground.
Yes.
I mean, that's who we are. That's what we do.
But you're going to get, like you said, Tom, to go from here. It would be as if every day you came out your house and you went to 7-Eleven and you got that coffee, you'd start feeling programmed. You start feeling like a robot. You would lose interest in going to that same store every
The
day after day. And it's like that when you fly.
It
one
depends.
of the major things, is when I don't know about you guys, but I'm probably speaking for the lion's share of this community
Mhm.
is
Hey, what's up
when you
above?
when you fly, that's a release.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
That's a mind
Yes.
space,
Yes, it is.
massage for me. I mean, that's basically part of the love here, right?
Mhm.
Is to get lost in that. So that's part of the drive. But when it starts to be programmed, I stop flying as much.
Right.
Okay, and that's what's been happening lately is, okay, everybody's going to Calvert. Okay, everybody's going to Flushing. Okay, everybody's going, and it's like, I've been there, done that, and I'm tired of it. Okay,
Right. Become
I don't mind doing
routine.
Calvert maybe 2-3 times a year. Okay, but 12
But
times a
every
year,
it,
I'm
but
kind of
but
burnt.
every other week, there's only but
Yeah,
so
well, and the problem with Flushing, and I like getting together with people. So look, if we're talking about, hey, we're going to meet up in BS and maybe put a drone up or two over at Flushing. Yeah, how many times can I film the lake? How many times, the Unisphere is off limits? But it's not that I don't have my private stock. It's just that you're done with that. You've been there. You did that,
Mhm.
and I'm always looking for something fresh and new, and that's why the wife and I we jump in the car on the weekend and we just drive aimlessly, and we look
that's
for
what
different
this is
places.
what this family needs to do. My wife and I, we used to get in the car
Yeah,
just for the hell of it and
yeah,
go. Or we would go out and have breakfast. And over breakfast, be like, oh, what do you want to do? I don't want to go back home and go to sleep. What do you want to do? And my wife and I, we would wind up in Atlantic City. You just got to do it spontaneously.
right.
Okay, Justin says he'll be on at 6. He just gave me a text. I told him we would do a drop and a shot for Herman's birthday. I have some mango rum in there. I'm going to mix up with some orange soda because I'm not doing no straight shots on no more live streams. That shit is dead. Maybe for the new year. But other than that, because what happened, Tom, for the Christmas holidays, my friend heard me crying about moonshine because they sell it in his neighborhood
Yeah,
in a liquor store. And
yeah.
from a legitimate moonshine down in South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever. But it gave me some samples and I had 3 of them. I should have known, never drinking moonshine before, to take it easy on the first one, but it was apple cinnamon. And I popped a little bottle like this and I took a sip. I'm like, wow, it's strong, but it's really good. And I downed it in 2 shots. Listening to Paul's instigating ass because Paul thinks he has Jedi mind tricks, you know, hey, have another one. Make a long story short, I don't even remember cutting the computer off that night. So
Can't
we're
do
not
that
doing
anymore.
that no more. That's dead and gone. Okay. Lawrence is leaving the stream drunk again. No, I'm not, Sean. Nope. No. I'm gonna have
Yeah,
one or
see,
one or two
look,
shots and that's it.
with
What
the
happened,
with the
Tom?
cold with the cold weather coming in.
Mhm.
Okay, now's the time to start taking that aimless drive. I mean, the colors are going to explode
Yes, I
upstate.
know, man. I know,
Okay,
especially that we have mountainsides on the Jersey, the Palisades. You
you
have
got Palisades, you got,
Palisades,
and
Bear Mountain, Croton.
It's
the wife and I are looking at it as we got to shoehorn in as much greenery as we can, because when we go to the Southwest, it's a lot of orange and reds and browns. So we want to get some of these greens in right now, and but we just the driving along even the throughway or up through the mountains. It's the colors are going to explode, especially now that they got some frost up there. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
happen.
It's
It's going
going
to
to
happen
rush.
over
It's
the
going to
next couple of
accelerate. It's going to
weeks.
accelerate the
Yeah,
process.
yeah.
yeah.
It's
And we
definitely
live
going
in
to.
such a section here, and that it's those Catskill Mountains and you
Yes,
know the
yes.
Adirondacks.
Mm-hmm.
It's just spectacular country. So it's just drive. I mean, even if you go up to the Berkshires, or
Look,
Litchfield
well,
in
you don't even have to
Connecticut,
go
those
that
areas
far.
there.
Once you pass Rochester, it starts getting very scenic.
Yeah. Oh,
Once
you
you
don't even
pass,
have to go that high. I mean, look, we only drove a couple of hours up yesterday. So we went up 100 miles, and it's gorgeous. The Hunter Mountain area, Tannersville,
okay.
Catskill,
Yeah.
that area
You
there.
know what's a great area? Sleepy Hollow, Tarrytown.
Yeah, and that's
That,
really close to
That's
us. I
right
mean,
here.
hmm
Yeah.
that's the good old Mario Cuomo, aka
Yes,
Tappan
yes,
Z.
yes,
Okay.
yes. And from what I understand, over there, that bridge is lit up so nicely. I have not seen it in
Yeah, we
person at
drove
night.
over it last night. Very, very, very pretty. All LED lighting, so of course they can change it on a whim.
Right, they can change them with the
Beautiful.
holidays, just like the
It's a beautiful bike and pedestrian walkway they put across it
yes,
also.
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah, they
which is
did open up
nice.
the bike and pedestrian walkway on the
But
northern
not just
side,
open
right?
it up. They made it very nice. I mean, there's seating, there's
Oh,
lookout spots,
there better
there's
be some place to sit down. That's a long
well,
ass
I'll tell
bridge.
you, man, the wife was saying to me, "Oh, we got to walk across that. We just got e-bikes." So I said, "Yeah, when we get e-bikes, we'll e-bike across it."
Yeah,
She didn't realize how long it was. And I
that's a
said, "Yeah,
big
That's
because
a
bridge.
long
yeah,
bridge.
because we're going, 50, 60 miles an hour. It doesn't seem that long, but
Mm-hmm.
I think I think it's probably 4.5 miles each way, one way. So
Is it?
yeah,
New
I
York
think it might
Scooter
be. I
Club.
don't know.
Hey, Tom. New York Scooter Club did a ride to Sleepy Hollow. Does a ride to Sleepy Hollow every year. Is there a famous hot dog place close near there also? I could not tell you about the hot dog place, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I know that they do group
Just Google it.
rides, bicycle rides. I don't know about scooter. I do know there are certain bicycle groups that ride from down here in the city all the way up to Tarryton and back.
Oh
What
yeah,
they do is they
plenty.
go up through Tarryton and they cross over into Jersey and then they come back down through the Jersey side, or they do it vice versa.
They were talking, people have been talking for years
What's
about
up, Bill?
the
How are you?
pedestrian walk over the Verrazano,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the one I'm afraid of.
You get blown off on a windy day.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
that's gonna be a suicide walk, bro.
What isn't that? How many miles is that bridge?
About a
It's a
mile.
two. It's a mile.
Yeah, about a mile.
The Verrazano Bridge is only a mile.
Not that long, man.
Because when you look at it, when you see these 13-story cruise ships passing under it, it dwarfs them. So I'm just
well, the
wondering.
Verrazano Bridge, okay, is
What's
2.6
up, Night
miles.
Train? You coming in for a drop in a shot, Night Train?
Okay.
We're gonna do one at about 6 o'clock in about 2 minutes. If you guys give me a minute to go make a drink, we'll do a drop in a shot for Herman at 6 o'clock.
So
Okay.
so the Verrazano Bridge is 2.6 miles in length.
Okay.
I'm
And the
glad
Mario
I was
Cuomo,
wondering about. I
yeah.
thought that the Verrazano was one
Yeah,
of the
it's not a
longest
short walk. It's not a
bridges
short walk.
Yeah,
in
but
the
it's a
Northeast
walk
corridor.
that
Well, this is what's got me in trouble in the past with the wife. When she says to me, "How long is this hike?" I go, "Well, the trail is 2.5 miles long."
But
And then when we get to the other side, she goes, "Wow, that was a long 1.25 miles." And I went, "No, well, that was 2.5 miles to here." And she's like, "No, that's a 5 mile hike." I go, "You didn't ask that."
See,
Okay.
you trying to catch a raccoon.
Yeah.
I'll be
So,
right back.
yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, the Mario Cuomo Bridge is 3.2. I think it's 3.2 miles long. So
I'm
it's
just curious to know who makes that walk. I mean,
look,
I guess
Herman,
it's great for
tons of
some.
people yesterday. We
Yeah, I
probably
mean,
went over the bridge about 11:30 in the morning.
mhm.
We came back across it about 7:30 at night, and people and bikes on it both times. Okay.
Okay.
Not a throng like you'd see on the Brooklyn Bridge, but a sizable amount of people. And there's parking areas at both ends,
Yeah, no, I know that.
Mayak and
Yeah,
yeah.
I know that on
So
on this side of the bridge.
yeah, they definitely that's a hike and a half.
There's
I
a
mean,
little boating area right out there, buddy, alongside the bridge too. They launch
well,
boats.
there's a nice little park that's just south of there. I'm trying to remember exactly where it was.
On what side? On the other side?
On by the Verrazano, not the Verrazano, the Tappan Zee Bridge.
Yeah. On this.
Scenic Hudson Park, I think it's called, or something like that. And
you know,
but it's
Tom,
a little spot that's really nice.
There is so much history in New York. You know, one place that I must get to next year, and I was supposed to get to it this year. I was going to try with Herman, Bannerman Castle. If you check out the history of Bannerman Castle, I had no idea that Bannerman was the United States' largest arms dealer at one time.
Yeah, it was a munitions. Yeah.
He was the largest arms dealer in the United States at one time.
No, he fed both sides of the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, I know. I just found out some of that stuff.
Yeah, but you know why it looks the way it looks. I felt bad for that situation.
That's from some major fire, right?
Yeah, the thing is, he was here in New York, and I guess the people had issues to that, and he had to move his whole operation, and somehow he thought that he got this island, but he thought to move all of his ammunition and stuff over there and his family into a house next door.
Yeah, to an ammunition dump.
Right. And when it caught on fire, the fire department.
What's up, Corey?
Stood on the mainland and watched it burn because there was no way to get over there.
Right. That's interesting. Anyway, listen, it's 6:02. If you have a drink or don't have a drink, we're going to do a drop and a shot for Herman. Yesterday was his birthday.
Or if you've been drinking.
Huh?
Or if you've been drinking.
Or if you've been drinking already.
Just remember to hit that thumbs up button.
Hold on.
If you've been drinking.
It mentioned
the right one, not the wrong one.
It mentioned drink and Paul shows up.
Yeah,
and you don't even drink.
Look at him showing up.
Yeah. It's funny, Paul. I mentioned drop.
Did I make it back in time for the shot and the drop?
It's Paul. Did you mention a drink? And Paul don't even drink and shows up.
You just make sure that you got to use the mind game. You got to say Lawrence Moonshine. Lawrence Moonshine.
No, we're not. We're not doing moonshine. Anyway, hey, what's up, Recovery One? Anyway, turn your glasses off.
Happy birthday.
We do. Happy birthday to Herman. May you have many, many more. And Sunday nights with those guys are sponsored. Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by those guys. I didn't even start yet.
Mm-hmm.
All the best, Herman.
Corey Mano says his daughter's birthday is tomorrow. Okay. Happy birthday to
another Libra, another balanced individual.
Yes, hold it. Justin's just getting here. He's late.
Actually Virgo.
We're gonna have to do it over.
You're Virgo. You're right at the end, right?
All right.
When is Libra?
Hey, Justin, here we go, buddy.
Tomorrow?
Here we go, Justin. We got to do it over.
Oh, Justin, we got to do another one. I'm glad
we got to do it over because Justin was supposed to be here when we did.
Justin's gonna break out the good stuff.
Oh, you did it at 6.
Well, no, we were supposed to, but I took a little longer making a drink.
Oh,
hey, what's up, Stevie?
Drinking before 5 o'clock? What?
No. Anyway, this birthday drop in a shot is for Herman Green. Belated happy birthday from yesterday. Like I said, Sunday nights with those guys is sponsored by those guys. Salute. Come on.
Salute.
Catch up, Justin.
There you go. Cheers.
Tagaloo.
Woo.
You put $150 bottle to your head?
What?
You.
Yeah.
That shows how much he loves.
And then on top of it, he's got a $150 bottle on a shelf that could slide off.
That's the total respect for you, Herman. He had that stashed for this occasion.
Okay, keep telling yourself that.
What's up, Stevie? How are you, man?
TV.
Well, all I could say, my mom's birthday is the 29th. Happy belated birthday, Herman, from
Thank you.
Stevie
Thank you.
Bronx. I gotta cut this off. Pretty soon I'll be sitting here sweating, so I gotta cut it back on. But yes, please click that like button. We appreciate it. This way you don't have to click it on the way out.
And I got a big birthday coming on Saturday.
Who you?
See that?
Yeah.
Does it have a 0 or a 5 in it?
No, it's got a magic number for my job, and that's it, buddy. Okay.
Well, listen.
So come Monday, following Monday, nobody should attempt to cross me, not even with a bad stare. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you, Tom.
Okay.
That's right. That's right.
It's called
Tell 'em.
freedom.
Move out the way. It's my birthday.
Stay out of my way.
Yep.
Okay. You want to keep me for a couple more months? Don't get in my way. And then don't tell me what time it is.
Oh,
Okay.
shit. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Wait. What
So-
happened? Justin popped in to do a shot and broke out? No, he's muted.
I'll be right back. Hold on.
Lauren,
Oh, okay. I
Lauren,
was
There he
wondering.
is.
I was like, well, that's loyalty. Come in, do a drop in the shop, and be out.
Lawrence, like it seems like every single story that we talk about is something that has to do with drone delivery. This one's got drone delivery. This one's getting into the drone delivery.
Mhm.
Now we got, who was it? Now was it Amazon got approval? Well, apparently now it's no secret that Walmart's now trying to get into the game.
Absolutely.
And Walmart has teamed up with your friend and buddy Zipline.
Oh, get out of here.
Yes.
Yeah, Zipline, the well-established company that's been delivering life-saving product on the African continent, has definitely saddled up.
Well, they're
with
actually
Walmart.
the world's largest right now in drone delivery.
Well, they're the largest commercial continuous operator right now. That's for damn sure.
Mhm.
Okay. And they've already proven value. So I think a very, very smart move on Walmart's part.
Oh, yes.
Okay. But now
It sounds
also
like,
I look for a real possible technology expansion for Zipline themselves, because that's a pretty lucrative bankroll they just inherited.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And for those of you that don't know, Zipline is
thanks, Jackson.
really
RC.
fixed wing delivery beyond visual line of sight. And so I'm really interested to see what turns this takes here with this.
Because apparently what's going to happen now, they're supposed to start some testing with this Flytrex over in North Carolina, and they're talking about deliveries to 50 miles under an hour.
Yeah.
Easily. And I've seen how their setup works, where the catapult sends it. And this is funny because they don't land. It gets to the drop-off point and it drops.
And the accuracy.
And Tom, it comes back to a catch, and they got to catch it. But it misses the catch.
It'll loop back around.
It's intelligent enough to circle back around.
And make the attempt again.
Make the attempt again.
Hey, at least we're keeping somebody employed there, huh?
Right, exactly.
Instead of spinning a sign in front of the tax prep place, you can get yourself a job catching Zipline drones.
Well, here with the way the current laws state here, for that operation, you're gonna have to have a 107 pilot that can be at the
always has to be under control of a pilot in charge. There's no exception there.
Yes.
No exception. Okay. So that maintains a mainstay, and that's a mainstay for anything where you have a regulatory or certification standard to it. There has to be a certified operator. So, but I mean, look, Zipline's got their act together. This is going to be a big.
That's why they're here in the
boon for
United States
Zipline
now, to show us how it's done. Because because everyone thinks when you hear the word drone, it's got to have propellers on it. No, No, it doesn't.
Well,
Drone-
yeah. It's this. A drone is just an unmanned aerial platform. Okay,
Mhm.
it's a system. And what Zipline provides is Zipline provides not just the vehicle, the UAV. They're providing a system behind it, which I think is a huge gain for Walmart because there's a lot of engineering that Zipline's already done. Okay.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about a logistic giant, Walmart, teaming with an aerial,
Mhm.
logistic partner here. And again, I think it's good for a lot of us. Okay, because there's going to be a lot of innovation that I think comes out of Zipline as a result of this.
Oh yeah, especially operating here in the United States is a little different than
Yeah.
than they're where they've started and where they've built such a big platform. But they've been here quite some time now, though.
Yeah. Well, I think it'll be a lot of good because
And
the technology is proven. The fact that the thing can launch, only thing they have to do is put the box in, launch it, and it'll return and catch itself. I mean, how much money do you have to save to
These
show?
things are going to be caught in a sock. Okay, so
Yeah.
so realize what's going to happen here. They'll create a system that can automatically retrieve the aircraft as well. Okay, the aircraft will fly into a target. That's all.
Yeah.
And the target will be look. The Navy's been doing it for years, haven't they? Okay, put this moving postage stamp in the middle of an ocean and tell
Uh-huh.
pilots to land on it at night, right?
Right.
So
While
come on.
moving.
We've done this. We've done this, yeah. While moving in multiple directions, up, down, sideways, forwards, right? Okay. So and when an aircraft loses its tail hook in the Navy, it doesn't mean you're going to ditch your plane in the water. Now they're going to erect a barricade. It's basically a barricade of ribbons, except these are very, very strong ribbons, we'll say.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen
Yeah.
them.
So think of that, okay, strategy when it comes to these types of flights, because Zipline, the distribution point can basically have like a baseball field set up
Mhm.
where these things are coming in and being caught in these net socks, basically,
Right.
and retrieved and refitted and repurposed and turned back around.
Well,
I see them also developing an entire, a dropout that has your avionics in it, has your batteries in it, has everything, so they can turn around the aircraft as quickly as they can with the next package.
Mhm.
That's where the money's going to be.
Well, I've seen how they do it, and when it's caught in the thing what you're talking like with a sock, which is what similar to what they have.
Yeah.
And the gentleman that was on the catch side of it, he was saying that maybe once or twice a day they one overshoots the catch, but it doesn't crash. It
No, it
comes
comes.
back around and goes back into it again.
What is it? The Parrot Disco,
Mhm.
the V Wing. You toss that up in the air, and it automatically goes into an aerial loiter
Mhm.
until you're ready to take the controls and then take over the aircraft. I mean, that's a fixed wing drone. Okay.
Doesn't the Parrot Disco do that?
That's what
Yeah,
we're
that's the
talking
Parrot
Oh,
Disco that
okay.
I'm talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
You throw it up in the sky and it loiters until you're ready to
Hey,
catch
see,
it.
you mentioned wing, and look what
Fit it on the
look what
screen or something.
Justin's working on. There you go. But yours has 2 engines on it.
Yep.
This sucker's big.
Yeah.
Wow, I could see now.
This is gonna have
Fixed wing seen flying over southern Queens. If you know who the pilot is, let us know.
about.
GPS and return home on it too.
Paul, you're
Excellent.
tired, man. You could crash out for the night, man.
No, I'm just.
It's okay, Paul, to go to bed before everyone.
I think that
Paul doesn't sleep.
while it's an exciting idea, I don't
Mhm.
see it happening for a long time.
What?
And I'll tell you the reason why. If you live on the 32nd floor of an apartment building, how are you going to get that package from a fixed wing to you? It's going to have
That's
to.
not where
Doorman.
this is for. We
Nope.
are all Paul. We're already getting 1 hour delivery here. Okay.
Yes, yes,
So
we are ready.
it's not for us. It's
Right.
not for us. It's for you.
It's for the guy that they can't reach.
Yeah.
It's basically for everybody outside of population center, because logistically today, that is still their barrier to a huge revenue pot. Okay.
Mhm.
Is the length of time it takes to deliver to rural and suburban areas.
Yeah, I get that, but I just don't see how it's cost effective to try and service 3 to 5% of the population when the other 95% of the population live in dense areas.
But like I said, the dense areas, they've already resolved that by having those local distribution points.
I get it.
And they are delivering. I mean, I could order something on Amazon right now. Okay.
You
and
can
it
get
will
less than
be
24 hours if you live in the island of Manhattan. If you live in
well,
Manhattan,
if you live in the
can get
island
it.
of Manhattan, you can actually get deliveries within a couple of hours.
Yes,
Okay.
less than 24 hours. Correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
So
you're gonna pay
Paul,
through the nose.
it's right. This doesn't. You're not going to have. You're not going to have a Target set up on your terrace on the 24th floor. I agree with you. Okay. But this is basically, look, the UPS model, right? The UPS model is to wind up at some fork in the road and hit a button, and a swarm comes out of the roof and starts delivering packages to that house, which is a quarter mile away, and this house, which is a third of a mile away. And so a hub and spoke kind of delivery system. Yeah.
I saw this week. Did you see the Amazon Prime drone? They had an Amazon Prime drone that was a basic balloon with conveyor belts with boxes. And the drone was flying its course like this, and drones were coming out of the front or going up in the front. And
that's been floating around for a while, where there was a mothership, an Amazon mothership.
Yeah.
I had little dronelets. Yeah.
I had seen it, but I had saw it again this week, and I was like, now that doesn't look so far-fetched.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'm excited to see how it's going to happen, but I think that there's going to be a lot of
Paul, the way you order from Amazon, you're gonna have a landing pad in your backyard any freaking way.
Yeah. You'll be a fixed site, Paul.
Neighbors will come pick up.
You'll get
people and neighbors will come knock on your door and say, Paul.
Paul will wind up showing up on FAA sectional maps.
Well, right now they deliver by limousine now, so
What'd you say? It'll have a letter P and an M.
It'll be a private site. Yeah.
Yes, I could see that. Oli FPV, how are you? And welcome to Sunday nights.
That was an artist's rendition. That was somebody putting out this rumor that
be fun to watch it unroll.
Right, but the concept of it isn't that much far-fetched.
Because all of this.
We did a story on UPS and Matternet.
Right.
Now UPS plans on, they have an actual truck that has 2 drones, 2 packages load up into the drones, and the UPS man will go to point A, and a drone will launch and go to point B and deliver. Another one will launch.
He's delivering.
Now the driver can go back to the truck and drive, and the drones will catch up to the truck and redock
and meet him back at the next drop-off.
Exactly.
Spot. Right. You know what was funny? We talk about stuff we see, and then it's potentially can be done. I got to tell you a funny one. My wife was changing channels on the TV this morning, and we came across a Jetsons cartoon. And we both stopped, okay? And the problem was George got caught in traffic. He got caught in one of those space lanes. It's too busy. So, I guess the ACU traffic reporter on his video screen said, George, take the 405 instead of the 505 because it's less congested until he arrived there. And then, of course, the 505 was congested.
Right.
Okay. But it's the same thing. And then of course the cops pull him over because he tried to use an inflatable cop and act like a police car to get through like the HOV lane kind of thing. Right. So nothing's changed really. All that seemed a fantasy land back then, but it's basically what's
Well,
happening now.
I
Right?
pulled up the UPS story because UPS has stepped their game up. Now this is back from 2017 when UPS was talking about this. I want to show you
Yeah.
guys this clip real quick. Now they're already going with a completely different company and stuff, but this was their concept back then. Okay. And to be honest, I'm gonna tell you, even back then it was cool. Now,
Well,
of course, they have it a lot better, but they have this set up a lot better where the boxes load themselves on the
you
truck.
see this, Lawrence? You see this here? And this system that everybody keeps referring back to,
Yep.
I still don't know where this is going yet. I don't know if this is ever going to be used as far as what you're looking at,
Right.
because of the rules involved in
Yes.
in
You need a
Somebody being
pilot.
controlled.
You need a pilot
so
on the
so
FAA
that right
says
there alone, right there, is just a dream.
right, but the
Right
FAA
now.
basically says you need a pilot to control these
Now,
little
Matternet
drones.
is a drone airline that UPS is using to do the hospital hop deliveries with the samples and stuff over in North Carolina, and they've expanded to a couple of different hospitals. Where it's going from there, I don't know. It's
Yeah.
also being used with a CVS thing, I believe,
Mhm.
with delivering. But like I said, I don't know how far that's going. You
Right. Well,
know,
that's understandable because if you think about it, it they have to have someone in control of their drone. Full autonomy, we're not, even though the technology's there, we're not ready for it yet.
well,
And the FAA is saying anything beyond a visual line of sight, you have to have a pilot on it.
right, but
Now.
it
Yes,
can.
Today.
now, yes.
No, it can, and it is being done autonomously. It's just that still you still must have someone to take over in case something goes wrong, and that has to be a qualified, competent person.
Yes. Hey, Carpenter Rick, how are you, sir?
Today.
Today. That's true, Tom. You keep saying
So
today. It's very, very
yeah,
true.
because look, I keep referring back to a 60-minute story you can check out online. It's that we have tractor trailers that are transversing our roadways with not a single operator inside, not even a safety person right now,
Yeah.
and that's not being regulated. Okay, which is driving me bananas. That the federal DOT
You know
is
when
not
it'll be
regulating that
regulated,
right
right?
now.
When
Oh
that
yeah, of
truck
course,
plows
but
through somebody's
look,
car.
like I've said before, the problem rolling out autonomous vehicles is non-autonomous vehicles. Okay, but realize these autonomous vehicles are making decisions within milliseconds and are analyzing data from multiple points where we as people can't accomplish that. So they are safer. So I don't think the visual line of sight thing is going to be a determinant here. I really do
You
not
don't
believe
think
so.
so?
No, look at the crash avoidance systems that are in cars now.
Yeah.
There's only a couple companies out there that make it, and if you look at the technology, I saw a demo where this company was showing a side computer screen as the car was driving, and that little wedge that sits up in your windshield and is looking at the potential targets. They were showing the screen and how it was picking up those targets. It was picking up those targets before we witnessed those targets even enter into the screen area, because it's analyzing the data coming from these different directions.
No, I
So
understand.
that's why I think the technology is there. So beyond visual line of sight will definitely be handled by AI.
You're
It will
right.
definitely be handled by
You're right,
AI.
and
Yeah,
that
easier
and I
processing.
said to you
Yeah.
before, and I said this before last year with the symposium when they talked about the visual beyond visual line of sight. They talked about see and avoid, and the thing that they were most important that was most important was these cameras that are be able to pick up obstacles and to be able to have intelligence that will allow this thing to avoid it. At the same time, where you do have organizations like the FAA, you will have this kind of regulations, and this is why you still have it. And I go back to saying before, like I said, I'm a union member, and there's certain things that we allow and certain things that we don't allow. Now you can have certain things, but I still need a man on it in
Yeah.
case something
I agree.
goes wrong.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah.
AI to me is scary. Okay.
Well, did you
To the level it can get to.
did you see that article that was just this last week, where two people were in a Tesla? The Tesla was driving itself at 95 miles an hour, and the police finally were able to pull the car over, and both of them were sound asleep and reclined in the front seats.
Well, how did it pull the car over?
They
woke up.
They put a patrol car on the side and a
Mhm.
patrol car in the front, and they slowly
They slowed down, and the computer picked
okay.
it up and brought it to a stop.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
well,
that's crazy.
But it's coming to where that will be not the abnormal, but it will be the norm, right?
Yep.
I mean, when you jump in the morning and get an extra, well, if you live in New York City, you jump in the car in the morning and get an extra 2.5 hours sleep, okay, while you commute.
So
But
let me ask this
you know,
question.
I
Well, what they were
found
having a hard time
go ahead.
figuring out, though, is why the car was doing 95.
So the co-defendant in this case is Tesla.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's not new to Elon, okay? This is the world he lives in. So, you know, come on, this guy dug a mile-long tunnel under LA, okay?
Yeah.
So nothing's
Can you imagine
impossible.
that your co-defendant is Tesla and you end up doing
Yeah.
the time and he go free?
No, he makes more money. He doesn't just go free. He earns more, okay? He proved the technology works where you can sleep at 95 miles an hour. Okay, come on now.
Your license.
That's marketing.
They suspend your license and he's gone free.
Yeah, you get the points. He gets the accolades.
Well,
Okay?
I could see in the future AI, like the Indy 500, you won't have drivers. The cars will be driving themselves.
Then it won't be a sport anymore.
Come on, then see, this is what I'm talking about. Then now you're going too far with that. And
Well, that's why we got to be careful.
And a human being
gotta
has
be
got
careful
to
of that.
put his foot down on this.
Well, yeah, look at all those human beings at Home Depot that don't have a foot to put down anymore because, you got to check yourself out.
That was their fault.
Not only
Listen,
can't you find
all right,
somebody in an
listen.
apron to help you,
now
you gotta be the cashier
You
too.
guys are complaining about that. I'm complaining about having to move out of the way of a robot at Stop and Shop today.
You don't have to move. He'll still there and wait.
Yeah,
okay,
well,
my Stop and Shop only has pallets.
apparently
unpacked
he was
pallets
going
in
to
the aisles.
outweight me because I stood there and he stood there beeping and spinning and making noises. And I went this way and he watched me turn this way. So I went back in front and we stood there, looked at each other.
He'll wait.
And then he won because I had to go.
Oh, see, I thought you were going to make it a sport.
If you'd have surrounded them with shopping carts, they would have been screwed.
It was a stare down at shopping stop.
You know what,
You
Herman?
got shopping carts to put around them. That aisle would have been filthy with no inventory until they got those shopping carts out of
That's
it.
funny. That's funny. Then we
Why?
can buy
Because he's
cars.
not a human being who's intelligent enough to move it out of his way.
Right. Until an employee comes along and takes a picture and makes it go viral. But I came around the corner with my shopping cart. Now, first of all, the robot could move sideways. So it comes out of the aisle like this, and I see two eyeballs. They put these two giant eyeballs on it. The little.
Got to humanize it.
Yeah, right. To humanize it.
Yeah.
And then I look at it, and the eyeballs turn, and the little spinny thing turns towards me, and it stops. So I'm like, all right, let's see what it does. Is it going to go around me, or is it going to wait for me to move? It waited for me to move.
Yeah.
I guess it
It
figures I
starts
have to
talking
move
to
sooner.
you.
It's got all day.
The day it starts talking to you, we're in trouble.
Listen, when
It
it can
already
figure
happens,
out
man.
how to get the
It
shopping
already
cart,
happens.
I
Herman,
see
when it
Lawrence
can,
standing in front of this thing, and the thing comes up. Yo, say, man, you're standing in my way. I'm trying to get around you to get to that aisle over there to clean
no,
up.
Herman, when it
Can a
figures out
robot
how
get a
to,
job?
hey,
Come on.
when it figures out how to get those shopping carts around it,
Yeah.
then I'll worry.
It's going to be picking up the shopping carts in
I
in
saw
the
a floor cleaner at Sam's Club going around by itself, and they put a great big stuffed bear in the seat. And
Yeah.
and every time if somebody was in the way, he'd wait and he'd say, "Excuse me, please." It had a speaker on. "Excuse me, please.
Wow.
Excuse me, please."
yeah. See, Herman, it's already here, man.
See, when it's broken now and it's stuck in the corner, it's just gonna keep going. Excuse me, please. Excuse
Well,
me,
those will be
please.
the only jobs for
Excuse me,
humans.
please.
Well,
The
it
humans
probably
will be AI tenders.
Yeah, well, that's probably what it'll do. It'll say, "Little help here, please. A little help here, please."
So you kids watching, go get yourself an engineering degree because you're going to need one to survive in this
Or
world.
figure
Listen.
out how a wrench works so you can build and fix these things.
You better learn how
Screwdriver.
because it's going to
Tom,
be
they're-
the only jobs available.
Tom,
You're
they're
either going
already
to either repair them or program them.
they're already introduced. They're already trying to introduce nanotechnology into certain technical high schools here in the city already.
Yeah.
And I'm
A little too late,
100%
though.
behind that because
Yeah.
anything that has to do with nanotechnology is doing nothing but going straight up in the stock market.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
and hey, what's up, Rob from Australia? Feet on the ground. How are you, sir? Good morning to you, because I know it's morning time
Good
there.
morning, Rob.
Yes, I do know it's morning there.
Did you ask him to send you
And
another
tomorrow.
bucket of that?
Well, yeah, it's
Your
morning.
favorite
It's morning. It's Tuesday. It's Monday morning
It's
there.
Monday there, yep.
Okay,
Monday.
Oh, Lawrence, is that who you get?
Justin, you ready to do another shot, man?
Is that who you get your
what?
favorite jelly from?
What happened?
Your
So we're doing
favorite
what?
jelly for your toast?
My favorite jelly? Yes, that's Rob. That's feet on the ground. That's where I got my Vegemite.
Vegemite, yeah.
Well, did you tell him you need more?
My Vegemite.
You're looking for another dose, right?
Yeah, I might have to have you send me some more, Rob, only because there were a few people here in New York like Herman
No,
that want some more. Justin liked it. Drone Evolution, he liked it. I liked it.
I'm
The
good.
only thing
No
is
accounting for taste.
you cannot drink beer after eating that stuff. It reactivates and starts growing in your stomach.
You start fermenting.
Dude, I'm telling you, my stomach was like
That's one strain of yeast fighting with another strain of yeast.
It's Monday,
Those
8
stuff
a.m.
growing.
in Australia. Okay. German, it's 12:32 in Germany.
Yep.
Is that okay? All right, Oli FPV, welcome from Germany. We get a few people here from Ireland and a few other continents around the world, and we appreciate it. Anytime you guys can come hang out, feel free. I know Rob is up. It's Monday morning, and he's off to get into trouble. Listen, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go get something to take another shot.
Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button.
Yes, please do. I will be right back in a second.
So the AI is basically, going to manage the movement of these things in the sky by the big players. They'll have huge infrastructures built around it with levels of redundancy, and that's what's going to be interesting to see is, how do you plan for the problems?
I mean, I
That's
think
where the real money is.
that in the programming and all of those things, but like you said before, and these things being able to pick up, and I said to you, I mentioned it that whole being able to see, and they mentioned that about cameras. Once these cameras are able to pick up things from a distance, and they don't need it to be able to pick it up when it's 50 feet away. They need to be able to pick it up from more of a distance, and that's what makes this.
They'll
safer.
I think they'll be using several layers of technology to meet that end, right? They're going to use the cellular network.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They're going to use transponder data. They're going to use satellite data, but they got the bankroll to use it all. Okay.
Right.
So when you get those players like Walmart and Amazon or Alphabet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're putting their money into this game, that's when you're going to see a lot of innovation come out of that. Okay. To solve a lot of these issues. And actually, because look, it doesn't work for them unless it's safe, right?
You're absolutely right.
Your ability to generate revenue goes away very, very quickly if you're having problems
You're
or
right.
if you hurt somebody.
You're right, Tom. And I think that's
Okay.
part of the reason why they wanted the hobbyists to constantly be on an internet, connection
Well, that's your rogue.
as well.
That's your loose end, right? You gotta look in any risk assessment. You look for those loose ends. You look for those rogue operators that could impact you and that you can't predict reliably. And what you do is you build the majority of your systems around them. Okay.
Well,
Like I said,
it was also better for the tracking of it actually as well, because not only so much of saying that, be able to monitor and see and know who for in case something happens. I think it's for more so of a real-time situation as to knowing that, well, it's my drone or your drone that's operating in this area. And then and maybe like 3 minutes later, Amazon might be passing by in that same area, maybe at a different altitude, but they still need to know that you and I are there.
they'll not only know, they'll know how to react.
Right.
Okay. As different aircraft move into different quadrants or cells, it will know how to react, and it will take a right turn before it enters the next grid and go around it because it sees too much traffic in there. Okay. So this is something that's going to happen in real time. Okay. And that's, again, one of the things I'm excited about is we're going to get more insight into how they address latency issues also.
There you go.
Right? The latency issues are I think, ones that are going to be game changers when they solve some of these, because look at it, Justin and Lawrence on the FPV side of the fence, you live and die on the latency of your connection.
Yes.
Okay. More so than I do on a camera drone. Okay. 3-4 second delay. Hey, okay, I missed that perfect shot. Okay, 3-4 seconds for you is you just ate a tree.
Is impact.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
So when they solve, and these big companies will, when they bring that latency down, okay, to near real time, you're talking about technology advancing another notch. So that's why I get excited about these things. When you look at it that capitalism and corporate America is taking over, and it's not really that. I mean, I think like I said before earlier today, I think the FPV and the enthusiast will maintain airspaces below 400 feet, and I actually think the commercial operators will operate in a segment above that, and probably a segment that will only be a couple of 100 feet deep.
Well, you want to know what, Tom?
Because they won't need much more than that, because they'll be flying in a coordinated manner, so they can actually use less airspace.
I can see, Tom, them dropping the pilot, the maximum ceiling to 300 feet or 350. I say 300 feet.
Depends on areas.
Yeah.
Depends on areas.
Right.
Okay.
Right. But I can actually see that happening. What's that, Stevie?
Yeah, it already happens.
In certain areas, like we experience, there's certain areas that are 200 feet, there's 300 feet,
Yeah.
But
yeah, I keep on trying to. I keep pronouncing it Lance or Lank to see if Lawrence ever figures out how to actually pronounce it. Okay.
To do less than 400 feet across the board.
Well,
might go into play when they start doing all those deliveries, maybe.
Well, again, I don't see I don't see deliveries in the major metropolitan areas because it doesn't bring them a lot. It doesn't bring them a lot.
Right.
It's too much effort, too much coordination.
Effective.
They already talking about really fast right now.
Well, yeah. Well, see, that's what we were saying to Paul earlier, Stevie, was the fact that, hey, we live in the 5 boroughs, so we can get a delivery the same day. Okay.
Exactly.
They're solving that market where it's the outer ridge, suburban and rural areas.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Where they want that expectation too. Look, if you get something in a day, that's as good as you're going to get in a rural area when it comes to instant gratification. Okay, we
Why
want
would you
instant
want more?
gratification. We go to Micro Center.
Right.
Okay, so otherwise we wait and we get it tomorrow from Amazon.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
I noticed. Never mind.
Stevie, you got a drink with you, man?
Oh, I have to get one. I have to get one.
Go ahead,
But,
run and get
uh,
one, man, so we could do a drop and a shot real quick.
Are you
All
doing
right,
drops
hold on.
every 15 minutes, bro?
What?
You doing drops?
Yeah,
every
he's
15 minutes?
That's
Hey,
40 minutes
he's
ago.
getting into it. He's getting into it. The
40
vibes
minutes
are
ago.
working.
See, and he said Paul didn't have Jedi Master
Yeah,
capability.
Yeah, you know what I'm
They
saying?
want me to
Okay.
take.
So there you go.
It's one of the guys' birthdays.
But yeah, no, I look. I honestly think there'll probably be some additional airspace eked out of this, and
Got it.
Okay.
and I think it's going to depend on the areas also.
Yeah,
There's a
it
lot
that,
of
that
airspace
it
up there.
definitely will. But could you imagine? Had they put that Amazon office in Queens here, with them trying to introduce drone delivery, people in Queens, I don't see them doing
No,
it
they wouldn't
directly
use
from.
No, there wouldn't have been drone deliveries
It's
out of
not
there.
cost
Nah.
effective.
No. I'm saying
Okay.
after they've been established there for a while and have things up and running, I could see
Well,
them launching a few drones from there
Lawrence,
to a few areas.
let me see if I can explain something to you. When I was going to school in Canton, Missouri, right?
Yeah.
My mother used to send stuff to me next day air and 2-day delivery. And a lot of times it was better to send it with the post office than UPS. Because if UPS doesn't have a lot of stuff going in that area, they're not guaranteeing you the next day on that.
Right.
But the post office has to get it there when they say they're going to get it there.
True.
So she would use the post office.
Okay.
So it's and that's not even that desolate of a place. Now you got a place where a guy might not even get a UPS delivery for like a week.
True.
You know, something like that is more what they're talking about with something like this.
Yeah, I mean, just look at you got to deliver something, and it's going to take a truck driving 40 minutes to get there. That's you're talking about a considerable amount of fuel and the cost of a person.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, of course you can do it at a fraction of the cost
Hey, Herman,
using an automated device.
What happened?
you know what? I found out this YouTube studio added something new.
What?
You can place commercials anytime you want.
Okay. Well, what I was
AKA
gonna tell you,
bathroom breaks.
Test it out.
what I was gonna tell you is that
Too many
you
shots.
know when you start talking about this here with Wing, right? The reason why I see this being more of something that you'll probably see as opposed to that MatterNet system taking off is because Wing is operating in areas that, because of the infrastructure, it might take longer for you to drive to that area or have someone on a scooter ride to that area than it would for you to fly across that area. And
Yeah.
that's where something like this takes off. In areas like when you have like for instance, the people will tell you this. People who actually live in these places will tell you this. It takes a day to drive across a country, like say like Jamaica, for instance, right? Take you about a day to drive across the country, but in all actuality, it's smaller than the state of Connecticut.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Because now instead of and that's what Zipline did. Realize that's what Zipline did on the African continent, right? You have unstructured, the
Right. There were
infrastructure
no
is not
roads in
there.
some of these places.
Right,
People had to go
right.
in
The
on horse
infrastructure
or
is not
whatever.
there. Right, but
Yeah.
you can fly as the crow flies,
Right.
and cut out all that terrain. I mean, just look at it. You're flying to a rural area in the U.S. and there's a sizable river in between, but you have customers on both sides. So of course, what you've had to do today is you send out two separate trucks because one truck works one side of the river, one truck works the other side. Well, now when you have something like this, one truck can deliver the human on the truck can deliver to this side, the east bank, while the automated device takes off and flies and drops something off on the west bank. So, it's all going to come down to revenue and the ability to mitigate the risk involved in generating that revenue. So it's, I mean, risk assessment, that's the big one here. That's what they're working out with these zones.
The other thing they're going to do is they're going to then become logistics giants, because right now in rural America, if you order something from Amazon, you may get it within a day or two from the post office. So those drones could take, like, let's say a small post office to where rural routes are going to be distributed. They could take those packages there and have them there for next day to go on the carrier to take out.
Well, what and what's happened here is the logistics giants did jump in with both feet. Okay, UPS jumping in, and when you think about Walmart and Amazon, they're not sellers of products; they're logistics companies.
Yes, they are, and Walmart. I believe Walmart in the long run will be competition to Amazon at some time and point along the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when they start to get their own cloud environment and start selling some of that. Well, when you look at what Amazon did, okay, you got to give it to them. I mean, sold books first, right? Okay, but when you look at it, they're a supplier. They're a logistics company. They provision, a conduit for goods. Most of the goods they're selling aren't even theirs. Okay, we know that.
Yeah,
okay, just like most of the product.
Look, and handling.
Yeah, they're middlemen.
Exactly.
Can we interrupt real quick and get a shot and drop in?
Right.
Get the shot and drop in before Stevie's beer gets cold. I mean, warm.
Warm.
Yeah. All right. This birthday drop in a shot is for Herman on Sunday Nights with Those Guys. Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by those guys. Salute, Herman.
Them guys. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm looking forward to Walmart bringing back the $29.99 Inspire 2 Pro model for $29.99.
I'm with that one.
We all are.
I'm with that one.
Wow.
What are you drinking, Stevie?
It's whiskey.
I've never seen a container like that, but I see a face twisting up.
I know Justin over there got the nice and smooth.
Yeah, he was just sitting over there. His face was like contorting. Like,
Lawrence, you see what Justin got over there?
Yeah, Justin gonna go upstairs and get slapped.
The only face he made was when he had to open up the bottle.
That what Justin got over there is aged more than what I'm drinking.
Yeah, that's.
And you see how smooth this is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Justin, don't let me see you with a raccoon in the next couple of days.
Huh?
What's up, Chris Hope? How are you, man? What's going on?
So, I just wish they would, at least for this election, be able to deliver absentee ballots by drone, because they're less likely to get lost, I think.
Well, what you can do is just send tons of them up in the air and just let them fall out, and I can grab one.
Like confetti.
Put your name on it.
Yeah. Just send a C-130 over a neighborhood and just push out bales of it. The ones that reach the ground, somebody's going to pick up one or two.
Yeah. Hand one to a fellow guy and let him fill it out.
I'm surprised, we had that drone that flew along East River Park that time announcing, what was it, the voluntary COVID task force announcements. I'm surprised that group of individuals didn't fly around being proponents of the census and trying to get people out to sign up for the census.
That doesn't get bait. That doesn't get clicks. That doesn't get YouTube clicks.
Oh, okay. I thought it was use of drones to benefit society. I thought that was the major goal.
I don't know. Benefit only to benefit the pocket.
Hey, clicks are like currency today, right?
Listen,
clicks are currency.
What people will do for clicks.
Well, that's obvious. I mean, just hit the video button in Facebook and watch for 5 minutes. Okay. And try to keep your jaw hinged. Okay.
Yeah. I've seen in the four and a half.
First off, I know just watching Facebook, I would never drive in Russia. Okay.
Or Taiwan.
I just, unless I had like 14 dash cams.
Places where
Okay.
there is no side of the road you don't want to drive on. Okay, where there's no left or right side of the road, those places you don't want to drive because you being a foreigner would get into an accident quicker
Yeah,
than they would.
but they all have force fields around them when you watch that traffic, right?
What's the drone? Oh, what's JSKX? What's the deal with the drone landing in the baseball stadium, then taking off and getting out of there?
Which one of you guys did that?
Well, we're saying it was something local, right?
Yeah, well, all I can say is JSK, in order, and this is, I don't know what kind of drone it was, but in order to land inside a stadium and take off from the stadium, that person had to be in that stadium. Okay. Because if you know, like I do, you can't take a Phantom 4 Pro, you cannot take a Mavic 2 Pro and be outside a stadium and go beyond the signal line of sight without hitting a return to home.
Well, it all depends on where he took off from. If he's over the
Yeah,
stadium,
realize.
you can fly back
Okay.
into it.
So Lawrence, you're used to Yankee Stadium and City Field. Okay. Think about places like Fenway. Okay. Think about places like Comiskey Park and places like that. You have apartment buildings right next door.
Yeah.
You have people that normally watch games from the rooftop.
Right.
Okay.
You're right about that. People with the
So
binoculars.
the one that happened, who was it that put it up? Drone DJ put it up on August 13th was I believe that one was at Fenway.
Yes, yes, it was.
Where out of the blue and over Fenway came a drone, bringing the game to an abrupt halt.
Mhm.
So, they had to suspend the game for 10 minutes. I guess people are thinking because there's no fans in the stands, the stadium no-fly zones don't count. I'm just trying to make sense of it myself.
Oh, Sean Geek Spawner says it's a gambling thing to get ahead of the TV delay. It happened here in the UK too. No crowds give live pictures of value to in-game betting. You know what? That's true. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
You remember
If you could get a drone in there to look at the scoreboard.
I'm sorry, Geek Spawner. We're talking about. Okay, so here we're talking about football, baseball, and I know what we call football is not what you call football, but how often does the score really change in football, in European football?
Or baseball.
Okay. Yeah, well, I mean, you can go have lunch and come back and the pitch is still in his windup with baseball.
But now you can gamble on it because of FanDuel. You can gamble on anything. You can gamble that the cleanup hitter will strike out or get on base. You can gamble
whether the first ball pitched is going to be a ball or a strike.
Right. You can gamble whether the player is going to wear a face mask or not.
Like I told you, it's all about that whole television thing.
Yeah.
Because the stipulations on it was Major League Baseball, soccer, football, and Division I sports. They never said anything about the thousands of people who are attending Division II sports and Division II games. They do not care about you flying over those people's head.
You're right.
No. It's money.
Did you guys see the video of the drone that was by the medical helicopter? One of those rescue helicopters?
We talked about that when we first came on. Yeah.
The problem
guy
is
actually grabbed it.
But hold on, Stevie. The problem is we can't fact check it to see if it's real or not or photoshopped because you guys have seen that video of the plane flying between two buildings on a knife's edge and stuff. There's a lot of stuff is photoshopped in there. Hey, Marcel Roberts, how are you? Welcome.
Didn't it come out in Fox 17 in Michigan?
Right, but it's a station. It's not a well-known station. And
got you.
No, what I mean by fact check. What I mean by fact check it is other news stations didn't pick the story up and other newspapers didn't. So you have to question these things. Something that's major like that should have had more press to it, at least from a local view. So you just have, I'm not saying it's not real, but you have to question
Yeah.
those
Yeah, was
things.
it Harrison Ford, Lawrence?
It wasn't Harrison Ford. Stop it. Stop it. Leave him alone.
But if you actually saw the news story, they comparing the drone to an accident that happened a couple of years ago when medevac hit a tower on a building and crash landed on top of where it's supposed to land. And they
Yeah.
So they compared a drone to a tower,
Yeah.
a structure.
Yeah.
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 Horse
Horse racing has been hit by a lot of drones here in the UK. You
racing.
know what? If you can read that board, which you can do from a drone via Zoom or whatever, I could see that. I could see a lot of gangsters and
Lawrence,
mobsters getting
No,
involved.
seriously, Lawrence. You
Yeah.
know it's a $50,000 fine if you're caught on your cell phone in the odds room in Vegas.
Listen, catch them, lock their ass up,
No more. No more.
lock their ass up. That's all.
Hey,
I can
Lawrence,
say.
you keep looking over your shoulder back at the kitchen. Can you smell dinner or what?
No, I'm thinking about dinner.
I'm cooking it. Yeah.
What are you
I got
doing? Because
Peruvian.
Stevie, I couldn't help but
Stevie's
see
cooking.
that plant in the background sort of looks like a palm leaf. I'm like, what the hell is this? He's in the Bahamas somewhere? What the freak?
I slipped out the country. We don't know nothing.
What
Huh?
happened? What
Did you
happened,
guys
Herman?
see Night Train's last video?
No.
Check it out.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm gonna put a bookmark.
So I got this. I got the story up. It's basically from WNEM.com, which is actually the news station in Michigan. So basically, it said a drone was flying near a Michigan hospital, a helipad, and under FAA regulations, unmanned vehicles are prohibited from flying within a 5-mile radius of any emergency landing zone.
Right.
But the video shows a flying object grabbed out of midair at the helicopter landing pad. It was Butterworth Hospital in Grand Rapids, Paul.
Who is he, Paul?
Well, the problem with that statement
Who
is
is he, Paul?
it's not illegal to fly near a helipad.
Correct.
It's not legal to fly near a hospital, period.
It is legal.
Well, no, it is legal.
Yes,
Paul is right. The statement that they made here under FAA regulations.
So the question is, Paul, when are you going to go get your drone back?
Not illegal. You're supposed to give way if you see a medevac helicopter or whatever, but it's not illegal.
Well, I'm going to tell
you're always supposed to give way.
Well,
It's
I'm
a
going to
warning,
tell you.
though.
I'm going to tell you something now. They have a helicopter here where I live that they've closed down the hospital. The hospital has been down and leveled. Okay, this helipad is still active on most apps, and supposedly, if you go in these areas, you can get into trouble. So you guys say that that's not true.
No.
Because, right down there by the water, that park that's there where the ships right there, there's a hospital right across the street from it with a helipad.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
It's only when the helipad's in operation.
Hey, thanks for putting that link because I did not.
If that was the case with a DJI drone, it would never take off in New York.
Well, if that were the case, yeah, right. So basically, they're quoted here saying when landed, the team got out and the drone continued to get closer and closer until it got close enough that one of the team members was able to reach up, grab the drone, and then disable it.
The video showed him actually grabbing it,
snatching it out of the sky.
Yeah. But maybe they flipped the story, like you said. It could be fake news, and it was actually his drone. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just,
Yeah, no. Well, others up on Facebook said. Yeah, people on Facebook said it wasn't that they landed on the helipad. You see the co-pilot get out, walk right over, and pick it up. No, there was.
I'm looking at it now.
There was just watching, and then they show
the drone was just watching it.
I see. Yo,
guys,
you know what?
Guys,
yo, check this out. I gotta play this clip back. I have to pause this, but it shows. I'm gonna expand it to screen, but it shows the drone coming down, and then just as it gets above the guy, it pulls away. I think the drone had low battery. because the
Went
way it
into
Oh,
goes
it
auto
was
down,
land?
trying to auto land.
it
Yeah.
was trying to auto land it because the guy was under it. It moved away and came
Yep.
down further, and he reached and grabbed it. I
Yep.
have the footage here. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and blow it up on screen
But you gotta
because
think about it.
inspiring minds would like to know.
So is this
Okay.
guy a student of your friend?
I'm
That's
trying to
what
blow
I'm
this
saying,
picture
right?
up real quick. It will not let me blow the picture up, but I will send it. Put the link in the chat. What it shows right here is this guy right here walking over. Now they're going to switch cameras because it's two helipads right above him. It's right here where my mouse is. It comes down like it tries to land, and then he just catches it. It drops out of the sky into his hand. That was an LBC landing.
Yeah.
That
Well, is
drone
this
had low
guy-
battery. The
Well,
low
is this
battery.
guy a student of your
If
friend?
you look at this clip, it comes down like it wants to land. Obstacle avoidance kicks in, and then it just drops down into his hands.
Exactly.
You gotta think
And
about
it was a Mavic Mini, is from
Yes,
what
yes.
the
So
reports.
we
and,
know what
you know.
happens with any drone that has LBC below 10%.
Yep.
It can drop at any time,
And the
anywhere.
Mini has the sensors
Oh,
down
I'm
below.
sorry
It doesn't
for
have them
nuts.
around the
I'm
outside.
sorry for
It's
stop
just down
sharing.
Just
below.
underneath. Just
Corey
underneath.
Mano, if you look at that video, the guy, you can see the little dot come down like it's controlled landing. He puts his
Yeah.
hand up like this and it moves away and then comes down even further and then he just catches it like that.
Lawrence, so your boy's got competition, huh?
What happened?
So your buddy's got competition.
Listen, we got to get out of here,
Okay.
guys. Val's life is on. People have food to eat, things to do, places to go, people
Yeah.
in need.
You
Good to
guys
see
head
you,
on
Herman.
over to
We're going to do
Val's
one
Life.
more happy birthday shot for you, Herman, and we're going to get the hell out of here.
Hold on a second. I
Let's
don't
get
have nothing to
Hold on. Come on, Justin.
Hold on,
Raise
I
that
gotta get
$150
some-
bottle.
last time when we was doing this. and we-
Paul, stop shaking that Pepsi. You're getting rid of the
No,
bubbles.
no, that's the good stuff right there.
The good
Hold
stuff.
on,
Pepsi.
Hold on.
And guys,
You ready,
in
Herman?
the chat,
I gotta
guys
get.
in the chat, I couldn't see the chat this whole time, so I apologize if anybody was.
Okay, Steve.
All right, you ready, Herman?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
We appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through. Happy birthday, Herman. Next
Thank you,
Monday
guys.
is
Thank you, everyone.
Tom's
Thank you.
birthday. We may
No,
catch
no,
Woo!
next
2 weeks.
The
Saturday.
26th.
Oh,
26th.
okay, into 26. Anyway, Sunday nights with those guys, Shot in the Drop is sponsored by
Those
guys. Happy
Herman,
birthday.
many more.
Thank you all. Thank you all very much.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate
Good
you.
night, everybody.